Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us here today. We are brought to you by Russell & Associates and coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. And time to talk men's basketball with head coach Todd Eisner. A split this weekend. How do you feel your team did this weekend?
Well, we started out great. Anytime you can win the first one on the road, you feel like you're headed into the possibility of a great road weekend. And it's a challenging weekend. There's a lot of travel. We ran into some weather on the way up, and I spent more time on a bus on Thursday than I care to ever again. If I never have to make that trip again, that would be too soon. It took us a little over 11 hours to get to Minot, and I thought our guys handled it really well. We came out and we defended at a really high level over the course of 40 minutes, and that gave us a chance. We were struggled a little bit offensively in the first half, played much better offensively in the second half, which allowed us to go from, I think, down 1 at the half to, I think we got it to 12 or 14 point lead in the second half and made our free throws at the end of the game and started out the weekend in a really positive note.
Connor Drew, who was the guest today, had 20 points in that game. Connor Dillon, 16. You forced Minot into 15 turnovers, so when you do that, good things happen, right?
Yeah, and again, like I said, if we can hang our head on the defensive side of the floor, it gives you some cushion if shots aren't falling. And they didn't fall early, but we defended well, so now we're only down 1, and then we were much better offensively in the second half. Connor had a big weekend for us. He played really well up at Duluth, and so it's 3 games in a row that he's given us a good boost on the offensive end, and that's going to be really important. I think Connor Dillon's had a huge burden, on him this year, and if we can get 1 or 2 other pieces that can be consistent offensively, that'll really help us, I think, in the last 4 weeks.
All right, and then the other game then was Mary, and that one was an 8-point loss. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just, really disappointed. It was a great opportunity for us to get a sweep, number 1. It would have put us at 7-7 in the league. There were just some things out there for us to grab that we just didn't take advantage of. Really struggled offensively, and unfortunately, coming here every week, and we talk about that too often.
Right.
We were 4 of 27 from the 3. And then on the flip side, we didn't defend very well. And so we really played well the first 15 minutes. We were up 24-20 at the last media timeout the first half. Let them go 4 or 5 from the floor to kind of grab a little momentum going into the locker room. And then we just didn't defend at all in the second half. And that being said, as kind of anemic as we were offensively, we had a 3 with about a minute to go to cut it to 1. And then they made both free throws. We had a 3 to cut it to what would have been, I think, down to 3 again, or 4 or 2, something, single digits, and just missed a couple wide open shots. So we had our chances, even though we didn't play great. And that was the disappointing part is, there's been too many of those games this year where it's been a single digit game. It wasn't an 8-point game. We fouled twice in the last 30 seconds, gave them free throws, hoping they'd miss. But we've just given away too many of those type of games where woulda, coulda, shoulda in the locker room afterwards. If we, done a few things differently and played a little better offensively, it would have been a really awesome weekend with 2 road wins. But unfortunately, we got a split. A split big picture is good. Mm-hmm. It's just that we've got a lot of making up to do because of what we've done at home so far.
Yeah. We don't want to sound like a broken record, but we talk about this every week. You talk about you kind of have to hang your hat on the 3-point shot. And you said only 4 3-pointers against Mary, but you only had 5 against Minot. And was it the defense was the difference in those 2 games then?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we held Minot to 37% for the game, and then Mary shot 51% from the floor, and I think 44% from the 3. So, that's really the difference. We were 4 of 27. We only made 5 threes the first time. We only took 5 threes in the second half at Minot. We were 2 of 5. So we got to the line a bunch and converted near the rim better. And we broke down some film for our guys yesterday. We're just really struggling, not only shooting threes, but we're getting a lot of shots near the rim that we're just not converting. And when you combine those 2 things, that makes offense really hard. And so we scored whatever it was, 57 or 58 points, 59 points, and that's probably not going to win you a lot of games if you're not going to guard very well.
All right, you talk about struggling a little bit at home. It doesn't get very easy this week at home. I think you end the north part of the schedule against Northern and Moorhead, who are the top 2 teams in the north. Yeah. How do you feel about this weekend?
Yeah, we got our hands full. They're both really, really good. We're going to have to play really good basketball. We're going to have to get them to play bad basketball. Northern's really explosive offensively. Both of them are really explosive offensively. And where they get you is that you can concentrate on trying to take Sam Maston away and Jackson Money away, and then they got two other guys that can get you 15 or 20. And same thing with Moorhead on Saturday. You can concentrate on one or two guys, and they have two or three other guys that can get you 15 or 20. So, we're going to have to be really good. It's a great opportunity for us. But we can't play average. We can't play, solid. We're gonna have to play really good, and we're gonna have to get them to play, poorly and really defend at a high level. And we're gonna combine those two things to give us a chance to have a successful weekend.
Do you have any insight on why it's been a struggle at home this year?
Yeah, after the game, I get a little fired up at times, and I really haven't seen it in 25 years. It's just been a dynamic that I don't have an answer to. When you get the ball to the guys, 3 feet and in, your success rate, you just kind of assume is going to be a little higher. And we've just, to a man, really struggled to be efficient. And when I say efficient, when you're 3 feet and in, you should be making 60 or 70% of those shots probably at the end of the day, especially the ones that don't have a lot of resistance from a defensive standpoint. And we've had more shots like roll around the rim and fall out, or, just you sit there and wonder how it didn't go in. But it's been 20 games of doing it. We did it down in Kansas City, and we're doing it, at the end of January right now. And you can just hope at some point in time the odds start to switch in your favor. If not, then we got to be really good defensively to give ourselves a chance. All
right. Last question. You have the alumni coming back this weekend. Do you think that'll give the team a little boost to see some of those guys?
We'll take whatever we can get. We'll take whatever luck. We'll take whatever any type of karma we can get from some of the former players. I know, and this is my 8th year here, and I think we have 8 or 9 guys from just the past 8 years coming back. So it'll be good to see those guys, and then obviously some of the older players that I've gotten a chance to meet over the last 8 years. It's always great to see them, and so I think we've got close to 20 guys coming back, and I think some of them are going to try to lace them up and play a little bit at 1 o'clock. That's always interesting to watch as they try to relive the glory days. But it'd be good to see them back here on Saturday.
All right, well, very good. We'll look forward to that. That's always fun when we're setting up to be able to see that game happen. And best of luck this weekend.
Appreciate it, Justin. Thanks.
All right, thank you. We're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, Connor Drew will join us right after this.
For over 60 years, Russell & Associates has been helping individual and business clients achieve what matters to them. Our trusted advisors have the expertise and experience to help with long-term plans for personal finance, business finance, or wealth management. Focus on what matters most. Call Russell & Associates Certified Public Accountants and Advisors today at 507-452-3100 or visit us online at russellcpafirm.com.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Russell & Associates and coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. Now joined by Connor Drew. Thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit. I want to take you back to high school for just a little bit because you helped lead Ballard to the state tournament in basketball. You were a quarterback in football. I think you went to state in football as well.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about those experiences and what that was like.
Yeah, I'd say taking to the football side, being a quarterback and kind of being a leader out there really helped me come to the basketball side playing in college. Playing here for Coach Eisner, like a big part of getting on the floor is just being able to talk and like talking on defense. That's a really big part. So I think coming from the football side, being able to talk to all my players really well, was a really big part. And obviously the basketball side, really being very successful, having great kids on my team really helped me along the way, I'd say, yeah.
Okay, so then what was the decision then to choose basketball? I think I looked at your recruiting profile, and I think even back then you said basketball was your main sport. That's what you wanted to play in college. What was the difference between basketball and other sports?
I think basketball always was kind of my goal since I was probably like 8 years old. My dad and me, just like that was my main goal, was to play college basketball. So I always kind of had my mindset. I never really even looked at football, just kind of something I played to play, I guess.
All right, and then the decision to come to Winona State. I think I heard you maybe had 1-2 visits before you decided to commit here. What was the decision to commit here to Winona State?
Yeah, so it was kind of a weird time with COVID and all that. I had a couple offers prior to that, and I just remember getting the call from Coach Eisner and Coach Malvick, and I knew right away like Winona was a great place to be, and I knew the town was super nice, and they were good on the phone talking to me, and I just knew that this was a spot for me to come play. So yeah.
All right. Now I know you were kind of thrown into the fire right away last year. Started all 26 games. What was that like to be able to kind of make that jump really quickly?
Yeah, I'd say, right away it was kind of difficult, kind of scary at times, but I think overall I got it done and just tried to do everything the best I could, do the little things, talk out there as best I could, and really try to listen to what leaders like Dev had to tell me and take it all in. Sometimes they'd be yelling at me, but you got to see it from a different side and just understand what they're saying, because they've been doing this for Dev 3, 4, 5 years, so I'd say, yeah, it was a good time.
All right, and so now this year you take maybe a little bit more of a leadership role as one of the big guys, and you and Drew Adams kind of switch off as the big man inside. Tell me a little bit about that and what it's been like this year.
Yeah, no, it's been really good. Drew Adams is actually my roommate. We live together, and it's been super good. For me to come out or him to come in, we can both just switch in and out and be really productive on the floor. So I'd say it's really good to have. And yeah, just trying to be more of a little bit of a leader this year, because we don't really have too many old guys besides Owen and Luke. And then next year it's seems like we're all the same age with COVID and all that. So I think, yeah, just being a leader and trying to talk out there is a big deal.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this past weekend then. And Coach said it was a long time on the bus, big trip. So 11 hours on a bus. What do you guys do during all that time?
So honestly, going into it, I was like, this is going to be just horrible. But we had our buddy Carson Arns and Luca Martins bring a TV on the bus, and we had an Xbox back there. So we were playing some 2K and playing some phone games on our phones and just all talking. And honestly, in the long run, me and Owen King were talking. It's really not that bad. You kind of bond a little bit as a team and get to know each other even more. So, we didn't really mind it too much.
All right. Now, Coach knew about that. You're not kind of releasing
no
secrets here, right?
No.
Okay. Then tell us about the game, because the first part of the week you had the 20 points, and then I think you also helped lead the team in the second game as well. Tell us from your perspective how those games went, even though it was a split.
Yeah, I thought we played pretty decent. Definitely could have defended better. There's just times where we can do everything better, I guess. In the end, we got the job done at Minot. Happy with the win. Then going to Mary, I don't know. From the beginning, it was just kind of a rough game. We just needed to find a way to win the game. At the end, we couldn't do that. It was just tough, I'd say, yeah.
All right. So coming back home, we talked with Coach about how it's been a struggle at home this year.
Sure. From
From a player perspective, what it's been like playing at home? Usually those are the games that you kind of lock up, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's been nerves playing at home or what it is, but it's we played better on the road. And I kind of been calling us the Road Warriors this year and just saying, if we can't do it at home, might as well do it on the road. But now we got to kind of switch gears and we got to start getting these ones at home, because these are really crucial this time of the season for sure.
All right. Now, you were listening to Coach and I talk about, older days and the game back then. And the game has evolved now, where a big guy like you'll step up behind the arc and you'll knock down three-pointers. And that's been, the last couple of years that we've seen that happen. You're developing three-point shot. I know that was there in high school. What's the, how do you develop that, and how do you use that as a big man inside?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is being able to space yourself out. Not just being a threat down inside, but if you can pick and pop at the same time, they got to worry about coming out and guarding you and worrying about you shooting it instead of just always rolling to the paint. But I think lately I've been trying to roll to the paint more to get touches inside and just get a rhythm going there before I start stepping out and shooting threes. So, yeah. Yeah,
because that's obviously been a big thing with the NSIC over the years, is to have a big man inside. So this weekend, what do you have to do to be successful this weekend?
We just got to play hard. We got to just play together. It's going to be two very good teams, but I don't doubt in the world that we can't beat them both. We just got to come ready to play, and starts on the defensive end. When we're getting stops, it makes the game a lot easier. Obviously, scoring really, really helps, but we got to be able to get stops and control the pace a little bit.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, and we're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, we'll talk women's basketball with head coach Ana Wurtz right after this.
For over 60 years, Russell & Associates has been helping individual and business clients achieve what matters to them. Our trusted advisors have the expertise and experience to help with long-term plans for personal finance, business finance, or wealth management. Focus on what matters most. Call Russell & Associates Certified Public Accountants and Advisors today at 507-452-3100 or visit us online at russellcpafirm.com.
Meet Jenny Siseski of Edina Realty. With nearly 30 years' experience, she knows that right now is the best time to sell your home. Jenny will help you get top dollar, higher than ever before. With today's low interest rates, it's time to upgrade your home and increase its value. High demand and low inventory also make this a perfect time to list your home. Call for a free market analysis. Contact Jenny Siseski at Edina Realty today, 507-458-7038.
I'm a pretty calm, cool, and collective guy, but... Sorry, what's your name? Yeah, Evan. Hi, Evan. Yeah, we have no internet. Nothing. I don't know. It just stopped working.
The internet is down.
I know, I'm on the phone with them. No, that was my wife.
I can't get online again.
Yeah, I'm talking to Evan. No, my daughter, my wife. Okay, can you guys not talk? Sorry. Yes, we have the white boxes. I see one. They got horns on them.
The one with the horns.
Yes, I see one. We have 11 of those.
I was on the phone and I got disconnected.
Okay, it's not about you. We switched our broadband service provider. Devin put in 11, Evan. How are we supposed to know which one's 7 and which one?
I thought it was Devin.
Who's Devin? I got no service.
Honey, you're blocking.
You can't stand there. You're blocking it. Don't block it. And the best part, I never have to speak to Evan or Devin ever again.
I think this one's 11.
11? We're not looking for 11. No, are we looking for 7, Evan, or 11? We have 2 next to each other. That's bad. 2 white boxes. Evan?
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Russell and Associates and coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. Time now to talk women's basketball with head coach Ana Wurtz. I know, disappointing couple of games, so let's get into it. Let's start off with Minot 66-58.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think it just never felt great throughout the whole game. It never felt like we were in control, although we had a lead at times. But it was little things, came down to transition defense. I have to do the math on it, but the amount of points we gave up off O-boards, transition, and off our turnover. So, it was a close game. We certainly had a shot to take that one. Driving, almost 11 hours to go get one there. But it just didn't end our way. They kind of had a momentum shifter at the end of, the third quarter or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was 51-51.
Half court 3 that I swear she carried or traveled or something. But, just didn't end in our favor. And definitely some things that we could have controlled in that game that a little disappointing, but moving on.
Let's talk about the road trip first of all, because obviously you've been on that as a player and you've been on that as a coach before, but now you're in charge. So you have to handle that kind of road trip and handle your players. Is it a little bit different now on this side of being a coach?
Oh man, Coach Ballard always kept things lighthearted and fun. So that's my goal too. Is it's going to be a trip of not fun, but we find our times, and we kind of plotted it out so that we had breaks among about every 3 to 4 hours. We would stop and get food, so incentive, motivation to get somewhere. Shay Deckant brought a bunch of games and keeps us entertained for sure. So it didn't end up being the worst, honestly. I felt like it was the quickest trip for us, minus the losing always makes it feel a little bit longer.
Sure. But then the trip back.
Right.
Then what's that like?
That one at least was shorter. You get lucky, but you hope that you can get there, check that off the box, and then the ride back from Bismarck is about 8.5. Okay. So a little different than the 10.5, 11 going there. So it's, perspective.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's talk about the second game then. It's Mary, 75-49. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that score, I don't think reflects what the game looked like. It was consistently a 12-ish point ball game. The energy we had in that gym, we always believed we were in it. I remember at times looking up at the scoreboard, but the energy was there. It felt like we had a chance, and I look up at the scoreboard, and I was like, it's not quite in our grasp, but it just felt different. I felt like we competed harder, played harder. We had some growth in that game. I don't think that the scoreboard there definitely shows exactly kind of the way that we executed in that one. We didn't knock down shots. I think that's what you look at is they didn't make us take difficult shots. We got some really nice looks at the rim, and we got some great catch and shoot threes. And they didn't fall, but the stuff that we could control, I felt like in the Mary game was definitely better.
Okay, so back home this weekend after 2 weekends on the road, and it's Northern and Moorhead. How do you feel you stack up against those two teams?
Oh, figuring it out right now. I like the matchups. I do. They're bigger, so it's a lot of post play and bigger guards, stronger guards. I would say it's two teams that are gonna not a ton of transition. You know, you go from north to south. The south is a lot of push the ball, transition, driving, kick. These teams are more, get it inside, and they use a lot of the clock, that sort of thing. So grinding out possessions, and it'll always be a close game. We know that with both of these teams, and it's gonna, be one of those 50-60 battles where you're 50-60 point battles consistently. So we know that we've got to defend at an elite level because in order to keep ourselves in the game.
All right. This is kind of going to be an odd question, but this is the weekend now where the games flip. Right. The men play first and the women play second.
We started that last week.
Right. Okay. But so does that matter to you? And I don't know if
at
it
home
should.
Not as much. On the road, yes, absolutely, because you sit around all day waiting to play. But at home, I think it's a little different. Honestly, it gives me a little time to pick up my kids from daycare and not be panicked and running to the film room where we have our pregame. So for me, it's a better at home. But home is different. You're in your own space and you get to do your own thing rather than being sitting in a hotel all day waiting for the clock to start.
Okay. And then last question, what does practice look like coming off of the losses where, you say you're right in the games, right, and then somehow or another it kind of went sideways. So what does practice look like to try to fix that this week?
Yeah, just the stuff that we struggled with, just really honing in on those. So they all have these sheets of paper, but we're just trying to, basically, if there's things that you're struggling with and we see it in practice, we're just going to ask you to put in a little extra time outside of practice time to work on that stuff. So everybody has a different list of things that they need to work on. And so I guess that's where we're at, is just really making sure that we're holding people accountable to the things that we know are going to be important moving forward.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time this week, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a break on the Warrior Report. When we come back, Shay Deckman will join us right after this.
For over 60 years, Russell & Associates has been helping individual and business clients achieve what matters to them. Our trusted advisors have the expertise and experience to help with long-term plans for personal finance, business finance, or wealth management. Focus on what matters most. Call Russell & Associates Certified Public Accountants and Advisors today at 507-452-3100 or visit us online at russellcpafirm.com.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We're coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, Latch Development Center in downtown Winona, and brought to you by Russell & Associates. Shay Deckman joins us, and thank you for joining us here today.
Thank
Kind
you.
of excited to talk to you because we haven't had a chance to talk to you yet on this show. One of the things that Coach Wurtz told me when you said that you were coming on is that you are the leader of the team energy bus. When you hear that, what do you think about that, and what does that mean to you?
Me personally, I kind of take my role as I want to be the person on the team that gets everyone going, hypes people up, and kind of I try to be there for my teammates. So I kind of take that to heart, take it personal. I want to do that. I want to be the person that everyone knows that they can count on when it comes to basketball, also outside of basketball. Mm-hmm. So building relationships is a big goal of mine, and so the fact that Wurtz thinks that of me is. It's nice to hear.
All right. It's also kind of the team chemistry kind of thing, because we saw that at the beginning of the year where this team really kind of rallied around together, and it looked like you guys are really having a great time out there. And part of that is you, because you're kind of the glue that holds all this together. What do you think about the chemistry, and why is that important?
I feel like if you're going to have a winning team, you're going to have to have good chemistry. And I think it's also important, obviously this season we're not winning as many games as we hope, but I don't feel like we all still love each other, and that hasn't went away. And so even going through adversity, it gets frustrating when it comes to the basketball court, but you go in our locker room and the team chemistry hasn't changed since when we started the season compared to now. So I feel like it also shows the character we have on our team, because it's easy for when you're not winning the games that you want to be winning to kind of like separate. But I do feel like our friendships, relationships outside of basketball, that hasn't changed at all.
All right. The support that you all have for one another is great. And I don't get to see it very much because I'm on the other side. I'm by the visitor bench. But when a big shot happens, a big play happens, there's always something on the sidelines going on. And I hear that maybe that's part of you, that maybe you're the leader in some of that. Tell us a little bit about like the celebrations that happen on the sideline.
Oh yeah, we got a little bench squad. It's like me, Steph, Haley sometimes, Emma Kilpatrick, Malia, all of us. We do a limbo. So we put Malia up in the air and we do the limbo under her. We do working out, we dunk. We have a lot of celebrations for big plays, and it's fun. It gets people going, and so just like a different way to bring energy, I guess.
All right, and where do you guys come up with all that? Is that from watching other teams? Is it your own creations?
TikTok, and then randomly Steph will just be like, guys, I have an idea, and then we just try it. It takes a couple times to like make it look decent, but Steph comes up with a lot of the bench celebrations.
All right, very good. I want to take you back to high school just for a second because you were the conference player of the year your senior year, and I think that was the first time that Kimberly won the conference, and then I think you got either close to state or you made state. Tell us a little bit about that season because that seemed like in all the articles that I saw about you that you were the leader on the court, off the court, everything, and helped your team to success.
Yeah, senior year was fun for me. I had some of that was a team in high school where I had my best friends around me, which made it even more special. But yeah, we had a team at conference Appleton North, and they were kind of like the powerhouse for a while. And so senior year had a lot of close games with them too that like would lead us to win conference. And then yeah, ultimately we went down to state, and then we ended up losing in the first game at state, but it was a competitive game, and it was fun to experience it. Growing up, like I remember Wurtz's sister, Frankie, she was like the person that we all looked up to, and so we watched her down at like their team down at state, and so then kind of roles reversed being that. It was a cool experience. Definitely something I'm not going to forget.
All right, and then how did you get here to Winona State from Kimberly?
It was kind of like a long, weird process. I didn't end up committing until after my senior year, but I kind of knew that, like I've heard of Winona, people from my high school have came here before, so I knew the town, and I knew when I came on my visit, I was like, if they even offer me like a spot to like play on this team, like I want to be in Winona. And so I knew kind of coming into it that like if I had an opportunity to play here, that like I wanted to take it. And I have a lot of friends from high school too. And so kind of like felt like home kind of right away, and family around here. So it was just like a good fit for me overall.
All right. Now, I know that some of the energy around you kind of radiates to the other fans and maybe other students around, because when you got on the court earlier this season and you had a really big game, I mean, there was an eruption from the crowd. There are a lot of fans that were happy to see you get some success earlier on in the season. What was that like for you?
It's fun. I have a lot of friends on other sports teams, and we try to like support one another. So there's that they were all at the game, and so it's fun. It's hard to like go in the game and like you hear everyone like yelling my name, and I'm like trying to focus, but like everyone's trying to make me laugh on purpose too, and I laugh easily. So, but it's fun. I like hearing that.
Little payback maybe from what maybe you've done to other people?
Probably that too. Probably that too.
All right, and then last thing, let's talk about your future. You want to be a special education teacher. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm actually started my first day today in the classroom, and I want to do elementary, and I got placed in an elementary placement, and I was there for 3 hours today, and I was like, this is like, I'm doing what I want to do, and so I'm super excited for the rest of the semester. And then student teach next fall, and then we'll see where I end up from there. But I'm excited. I know it's a good fit for me for sure.
Is there a certain place that you want to end up?
I have no clue right now. I'm torn if I go home, but like I like to travel, so I kind of want to go live somewhere else after college and experience like somewhere other than the Midwest. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to join us here today, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you for joining us here on the Warrior Report. We'll see you next time here on HBC TV 25.